Sports Podcast. Breaking news just given to me tonight. We have an official name
We
for
do.
the podcast. It was brought to us by Ben Reno.
Ben Reno.
It's called The Joust.
The Joust.
I love it. You get it? See what I did there? It's the Lancer jousting.
Joust, yeah.
It's called
You know, it's better than nothing, but I would want to keep the competition open maybe one more week to see if we can come up with something a little better.
If you can top the Joust, let us know. But big night tonight for us. We had the chance earlier to sit down with Hannah Lingle and Haley Cashier, talk a little bit about the Lady Lancer season, and then Jake Goodman joined us, talking a little men's Lancer basketball as well. So you have that to look forward to on the tail end of the podcast. But right now, let's break down a little bit about what happened Saturday against Taylor, and then especially tonight. Now, the Lancers did drop on Saturday to the Taylor Trojans.
Yep.
Lost a tough game. Taylor shot really well from the field, and that's all we're going to say about that.
Yeah.
And but Coach K had a really good strategy in practice yesterday. The guys were telling me that they're worked on defending the ball screens that Taylor likes to throw at you, and it really paid off tonight. They played a lot better and rebounded the basketball very well.
Yeah, that's tremendous. Taylor's offense is just really a pass, pivot, set screens, run through the screens. They really get their big guys open well. They really get Casey Coons open well, and Tommy Peller down there, as we saw tonight. But the Grace Lancers did a lot better on the defensive end, which produced a lot of offense. And in fact, we won 76-53 tonight after dropping a tough one at Taylor on Saturday. And that Grace team that we just saw out there tonight, if they can bring that every single time the rest of this tournament, I don't see why we can't be MCC champs.
I don't disagree with that whatsoever, and that's the team that we've seen at times all year long, and they came out and really showed up tonight in a big way.
Yeah, and they really did. Just going down the total points, we have Greg Miller totaling 10 points, Duke Johnson with 10, Jacob Petey scored 2, we have Elliott Smith with 12, Bruce Grimm with 19. Then we go down to Nico Reed scoring 2, Morgan Maholsky with 3, 4 points for Dayton Merrill, 1 point for Ben Mueller, 3 points for Tannen Peters, and 10 points for Carl Columbus. So a lot of Lancers scored. In fact, only 2 Lancers that saw playing time didn't score tonight. And the ball movement was great. We had 5 double-digit scores, and I was really impressed with just the ball movement, the offense, just getting into it, which Taylor's a tough team. I mean, they defend really well, but Grace was able to get the ball inside, hit some shots from the outside, just very impressive.
Casey Coons really he's going to get his points. He came to play, and Taylor's going to be a very scary team next year. Only loses Hanaway. That's the only player they lose. You got everybody else coming back.
Yeah, and top scorer for the night was Casey Coons with 20 points. No other Trojan was in double digits. We have 8 points to Nate Casper, 8 points to Tommy Peller, 7 points to Josh Rekonen. But other than that, no other Trojans are even worth mentioning.
Yeah. Very balanced attack on the other side, though, for the Lancers. Duke Johnson with 10, Greg Miller with 10, Carl Columbus with 10, Elliott Smith had 12, and Bruce Grimm led the Lancers with 19 points.
And it's really nice to see Elliott Smith shooting well. When he's shooting well, our team's going. That means we got the ball movement going. And it was just really nice to see Elliott have a good game tonight.
Yeah, it was. They played very well as a cohesive unit defensively, and again, rebounding the basketball was such a huge part of the game as well.
And both Elliott Smith and Bruce Grimm going 2 for 4 from the 3-point range, doing an excellent job. And we have the winner of
Spring Arbor and Marion here on Saturday, which Marion ended up winning that game.
Marion did end up winning.
So Marion here Saturday. Be here.
Big game. We've already dropped 2 to Marion. Let's see if the Lancers can pick up a win. Stop Aaron Evans and Sylvester down there.
And Jake Goodman has his tips for stopping the Knights, which we will go to here in just a little bit to get his take on what the Lancers need to do to kind of turn the tide against the Marion Knights team that's really had our number throughout the season.
They really have, but I really think the third time's a charm. And I really think we'll get them on Saturday. if that team comes to play that we saw tonight, they're going to beat Marion.
That team that came to play tonight shows up. They're going to beat a lot more teams besides the Marion Knights too. I really believe that if that team can play the way they did, the sky's the limit.
They were hungry the whole way through. I came in, I wasn't quite here at the beginning.
I noticed that.
Baseball practice. 22-7, we're up. Taylor fights back, as you would expect them to do, but we carried it out and got a 23-point victory. Even at the end, the guys coming off the bench in the last minute, they ended up scoring, I believe, 6 points in the last minute, just taking it to them. They did not stop the whole time. And you just really have to tip your hats to the guys. They were very hungry. If they can keep that momentum going through the MCC tournament and into the NAIA tournament, it's going to be a scary team in Branson.
Well, we'll stay tuned for the next episode of the Lancer Podcast. Of course, if you can be here on Saturday, please show up. It'll be a big game against the Marion Knights. And lots of basketball left to be played on both the men's and women's side. We have the NCCAA tournament to look forward to.
Yes, we do.
And, of course, the trip to Branson, Missouri. Lancer's looking to be dancing in Branson here in just a couple of weeks. Well, welcome to episode 3 of the Lancer Sports Athletic Podcast. Will Thrasher, Chase Ringland with you today. We are joined by Haley Cashier, Hannah Lingle, and Sean White. So it's with you guys. Jake Goodman also joins us as well. Tonight, of course, the Lancers did come out victorious against to the Taylor Trojans, avenging Saturday's victory, which was good to see. And Jake, I noticed you're the only one that didn't score there at the end. I was hoping you were going to get a bucket.
You're right. I was keeping my trill going.
Right, you and Mark Tice would be very proud.
Yeah.
So, but let's turn it over to the ladies. You guys had your season come to an end last night, but still have the NCCAA to look forward to, of course. Talk a little bit about the success that you guys have had this year, though.
Well, we had big goals. We had big plans. Our goal was to get to the NAIA tournament, and obviously we didn't accomplish that goal, but we feel blessed to have the opportunity to have a tournament here at home, be able to win a national championship on our home court. So we're excited about that opportunity.
Haley, of course, you hit 1,000 points this season, so that was pretty big for you. Talk about just, I guess, what the 4 years have. You guys have kind of grown up as a team together over 4 years and culminating to this point right here.
Definitely. Coming in, though, we had like 9 freshmen. We lost about 3 of those, so every year has been a little bit different. This year, by far, was the best, talent-wise, chemistry-wise, and the things that we accomplished. It was all great, and we've grown. And like Hannah said, we didn't make it to NAIA, but being able to win a national championship, if we will win it, is definitely great. Like, not many teams get to do that at all, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Bold prediction.
Now, your season's not over yet.
But
what is the highlight so far?
I'll go.
Okay.
The highlight, I would say, would be when we were in Texas playing Texas A&M International. Haley hit a last-second shot, and it was, the most exciting moment in basketball in my career. And I think Coach was pretty excited too. He ran out there and knocked her over. And
If you haven't seen the highlight, his feet were moving pretty quick.
Yes.
So.
And I believe that highlight was on ESPN.com.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty big time there.
Definitely.
What about you, Haley?
Second to that, that'd be great. Second to that would probably be beating IWU. We were the only team in our conference to do that. They lost like twice or something like that, and we're the only team in our conference to beat them. Came down to the last seconds, and we did it. So that was pretty great. I haven't beat them since I've been here, or before that. So.
And they're the #1 team in the nation still. So that just proves that you guys can beat anybody in the country.
Right.
And so going into the tournament, that has to build your momentum.
Definitely.
Jake, not forgetting about you over here. What I guess you guys have next round, you play the winner of Spring Arbor and Marion. Looks like Marion ended up winning that game.
Yep.
They've kind of had you guys number 2. What do you think it's going to take to take out Marion here on Saturday?
I think a lot of it is just playing confidently. I think part of our problem, we've been a little bit hesitant against their guards. They have pretty good guard play. A lot of it is just playing our game, attacking the high post. That way we can get high-low feeds. that's been key for us too. And as long as we can keep doing that, and a lot of it is just playing our game. The games that we have lost, we've been a little bit more hesitant at times, and then sometimes shots just don't fall and we aren't able to get boards. Cleaning up the boards will also help us win that game.
Now, I noticed Coach K was pretty animated on the sidelines. Today he's in rare form. Can you give me any quotes, any highlights from the bench?
I wish I could to show you the face that he made before the game, because it was hilarious. I mean, he was just had complete like surprise, just excitement on his face. It was funny.
Yeah. If you haven't seen Coach K's antics on the sideline, please come out to the game. They'll be here on Saturdays. I mean, you can't compare it to anything you've ever seen before. So he's speechless. I'm speechless. We have one last question that we like to ask every guest of the Lancer podcast. We're going to start with you guys, and we'll work our way this way. You're in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, and you get to choose 2 Grace faculty to join you on the court. Who would you choose and why?
Well, of course, I'd choose Scott Bloom, All-American. That kind of explains itself. He's a beast. Second choice would be Dr. Edgington, just because his dedication. He's in the rec working on basketball at 6 a.m. So he looks like he's a hard worker. So I'd take him on my squad.
All right.
Well, I'd have to go with Coach Bloom too. You can't pass that up. So
He's been a popular choice.
yes, yeah, he's pretty good. And then I'd probably go with Dr. Swanson, just for the height. I mean, you can always use a good post player.
True.
I'm going to have to go with the legends of Grace College and Professor Dick Dillon and Coach Jim Kessler.
Okay. Now, they definitely bring experience. Talk a little bit about why you chose both those guys.
Definitely the experience factor. I feel like that is going to play into our favor, and also just their ability to create is just going to be phenomenal, I feel like.
Yeah. Now, those are great choices. Now, Chase, we get to pick the winners. If you had to take those 3 teams, who emerges victorious from the bracket?
I might have to go with Hannah Lingle here. Her team with Coach Bloom. He'd match up well against himself, and then also you got the height in Dr. Swanson and the point guard Hannah Lingle. So I mean, right there you got kind of the full package.
It's a good team chemistry. It's really tough. If you had the gun in my head, I would have to go with experience, because experience wins out in the end. And I'm still hoping that Dr. Dillon changes my grade from last year. We're going to go with that. But thank you for joining us on the Lancer Sports Podcast. We appreciate it. As always, talk to your friends about Lancer Sports Podcast that they can watch as well. Chase, Hannah, Haley, Jake, Will Thrasher. Good night, everybody.
I'm Chase Stringley. This is Will Thrasher. Thank you for watching Joust, a.k.a. Lancer Athletic Podcast.
See you next time.